Hello everyone, my name is Red Fox Bandit, and today I'm going to show you C language. Now, what is C language? C language is a computer program language. It's actually more of a general purpose high level language, and it's one of the oldest computer languages that we still use today. Now, what I like about C language is that it allows programmers to make just about almost everything they want. Now, what I like about C is that you can use it to create an operating system, write codes for a video game. Heck, you can use C language to program a microwave. Now, C language has gone through different versions throughout the years. The current version is C18, which was released on June 2018. It is cross-platform, and C can be, coded in different operating systems such as Windows, Linux, and Mac. Now, even though C language has many benefits, there is one thing you can't use C language for, and that's web designing. Now, before we start learning how to code C language, I felt it was important to discuss the history of C language because it's quite interesting. C language was originally designed for and implemented on the Unix operating system by Dennis Ritchie in 1972. And it's actually got its influence from a code language called B, which was invented by Ken Thompson, which ultimately led the development of C later on. Now, C language has gone through different versions. There was C99, C11, and now we're using the C18, which will be used for this course. Now, there are some requirements to write, C programs. One of them is called the C compiler, which we won't discuss in this slide. It'll be discussed in the next slide. Now, even though it's not required, many programmers tend to use the IDE, which stands for the Integrated Development Environment. Now, you may ask yourself, what does that mean? An IDE is a software development tool that's mainly used by developers to write and test program and software. So, even though a lot of programmers tend to use that, if you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend you use the IDE yet unless you're familiar with it. I do recommend for beginners to use text editor, which leads us to C compiler. Now, C compiler is more like a computer program that translates software written in source code into instructions that a computer can understand software used to translate that text to a program writes in the format the CPU can use. Now, there are many C compilers that are available out there, such as Eclipse, CodeBlock, Visual Studios, NetBeans, and more. So the way C compiler works is that it looks at the zeros and ones, which are known binaries, and pretty much, takes it and executes it. So even though there's many C compilers out there and IDE to use, for this lesson we're going to use CodeBlocks. Now, CodeBlocks is a free open source cross-platform that supports multiple compilers. In fact, it was the first one I used when I was trying to learn C language. It's free to download and can be used on different operating systems such as Windows, Linux, and Mac. So that's it for the introduction of C language. In the next video, we'll start learning how to download and install CodeBlocks.